All right, guys, talking about brain dump today. Had a time a few weeks back where I was just, I talk a lot about overwhelmed. I guess I just come out and say I was pretty overwhelmed. I've got a lot going on. You guys see me on social media. I got, I don't know, 4 Instagram pages. I YouTube for me. I got YouTube for Turner Builders. I got Facebook for this, Instagram for that. And when I can think of it, I'll jump on LinkedIn. So there's a lot going on, and I was just kind of feeling overwhelmed, and I could feel it just weighing me down. And was talking with a friend of mine. He said, dude, do a brain dump. And it occurred to me I had seen him do that. He posted about it maybe a year or two ago. And I said, well, let me talk about what a brain dump is. I got thinking about it. He's like, just go in and write everything down. So we had just gotten some new office space in Wyndham, and I just went in and closed the door on a Saturday and went through a pad of paper and just literally anything that was in my mind, whether it was related to personal stuff, business, coaching, the path of the course of where we want to take this podcast, or the new employee, or stuff that was going on with project management and customers and jobs that were taking too long, all the things that were kind of being a thorn in my side, just wrote them down. Each one, they got a page. And before I knew it, about an hour in, I was down through a half a ream of paper, you might say, and things all over my desk. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? So now I'm in the woodshed, right? I'm working on me. I don't have any solutions yet, but I'm just kind of puking everything on paper. And just the process of that, even once I got done with that, I took a break. And I actually felt better, but I hadn't really solved anything. So when I went back in, started making some categories. Okay, Turner Builder stuff. Okay, coaching stuff. Podcast stuff, everything that blogs, ideas for blogs, things that I had. I'm trying to develop core values. So I started writing them down, get rid of them, burp it out on paper, whatever it takes, because there's something cathartic about getting it out of your mind and putting it down on the paper, right? Don't worry about how you write. Don't worry if it's spelled right. Don't even worry if it's organized. Just write, and get it done. For me, a lot of it was born from having a contracting business and, geez, I got this going on. We got to get back to that person. I got to price these 9 jobs. But hey, I got to line somebody up for the podcast for next week. So I just started writing that stuff down. Made a list. Checked some things off. Crossed a few things out. Started to feel good. Anything that took, the next step I did, anything that was going to take me a minute or two or less, I just did it right then. Make an appointment with so-and-so. Boom, done. Send so-and-so an email. Out the door. Cross. All of a sudden, the list started to get a little bit smaller. So my mother's a big list maker, so maybe I got that from her. But anyway, you might be saying, well, how does this affect me? I'm a solo entrepreneur, Bob. I'm not running a contracting company. I don't have employees. It's just me. I would say just schedule some solo time. Get in the woodshed and do that activity first, okay? But how do you get that done? Well, maybe you enlist the help of someone else. Maybe you got a close family member or a friend or a mentor, somebody you could say, hey, would you help me? Sit down for an hour. I need an hour of your time. What do you think I'm good at? What do you think I need work on? Where do you see me fall down? All of a sudden, maybe your eyes get opened a little bit. You write that down. It goes on your list. You can do this up and down the line. You might be a person maybe you're running a big company. Well, we're a pretty small company in the big scheme of things. Maybe you're running a multi-million-dollar company, and, you're working and trying to organize a bunch of people. You've probably already got processes and procedures. People just aren't following them. Dig them out. How do we do this? And ask yourself, hey, are we doing this because this is the way we always did it? Or are we doing this because it's the best way to do it? Okay? Everything is in play when you're in the woodshed. Okay? When you're doing a brain dump, anything goes. You're totally honest with yourself, totally honest with whoever you're doing it with, totally transparent and vulnerable. Hey, what happens here stays here. We write it down. We kind of separate it. We make some lists and we move on. Lean on your team, let them know. Hey guys, I'm overwhelmed here. I'm going to go in this weekend, write down a bunch of stuff, be ready on Monday because I'm coming out of the woodshed with the axe. And that's what happened with me. When I got done, I was like, all right, we got this going now. I'm super fired up. We got all these things. We're not going to worry about this. This is what we're focusing on. And I started to feel more like a leader, like I like to operate. And I'm like, wow, I can do this. I didn't realize just how beaten down and broken I was becoming because of the overwhelm. Like I said, everything is in play. When I say that, I mean, you got to be super honest with yourself. You can't be like, well, I don't do that because, and have it be just you. Like, be honest, be vulnerable, be transparent. If somebody read all that stuff, like if you handed it all to your mother, she'd probably go, yep, that's you, So it's a lot about getting yourself in the right setting. You can't, like, I turned my phone off, no social media, no music. It was literally quiet, and I'm just writing, just dropping stuff down. If I had a random thought, I'd put it over here. And I basically got to the point where I could come back and reduce this stuff to lists. I would cross stuff out, crumple that one, throw it over my shoulder. Done with that. And then for my own personal situation, let's just use Turner Builders for an example. I just made a list. All the to-do items for the company. And then I made a list for our office manager. All the items that I'd like her to handle. Then for our project manager, all the things I needed him to take care of. And funny thing, you can link all those things. So now when something goes on, they get a notification. When they check something off, I get a notification. So we're starting to be more organized. It sounds super simple, but if you're not doing it, sometimes it's hard to see the forest through the trees, I always like to have a takeaway. Like, okay, Bob, that sounds great. I'll try those couple of things. Here's my challenge. Reduce that list to 3 to 5 actionable items and draw a little box beside each one. Check them off. There's something that feels really good about making a check mark or crossing through something at the end of the day. You feel accomplished. If you're not feeling full of energy, pick something that's on the easier or takes less time side and get rid of a few of those things. Tackle the big stuff early in the day. My mom says, do the worst first. She always says that. So I felt great after I did this, guys. It was super empowering. I needed to do it. I'm a guy that I always say, hey, I'm into the big picture. Well, that's fine if you're into the big picture, but when you're standing in paperwork up to your knees, or you're not paying attention to the details, or you got a stack of bills at home that, shoot, I'll get that later. Dive into it, get ahead of it. Always feels better when it's done. And for your overall mindset, it's just super healthy because I came back into work that Monday and I had 3 stacks, and I couldn't wait to see Ryan and Tia and say, hey, we got a direction. This is what we're going to do. And I know that was empowering for them. Hey, we're working for the right guy. This guy cares. He's plugged in. I know he's doing a bunch of stuff, but he cares about what we've got going on here. And this stuff needs to happen. And I'm holding them accountable. But best part is they're holding me accountable too. We have new processes and procedures in place. I wrote up a purchase order process. I wrote up a change order process, things that we kind of did anyway, but there was never really any rules. So now they're written up. Now we can go by a process. Now if we bring somebody in, we scale the business, we add a person here or there, sit down, this is how we do things. Guys, this isn't rocket science. It just takes some time to do it. You got to get comfortable with it. You got to be okay with digging into yourself and looking inward, because that's where most of this stuff lives. So yeah, just get in the woodshed, get after it, come out with 3 to 5 actionable items. You'll be surprised about how you feel when you're done. Guys, I always say one of my core values is do hard things. So thanks for listening. Go do hard things.